Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Karl Gading Sayudha and I'm the head of the Vostok 45 Consultant Group. Today, our company will have a presentation for all of you, the investor, regarding the Russian Federation. All of you don't need to worry about our presentation because we believe on the truth. That is our motto. In this presentation, we will give you unbiased information with partial analysis regarding whether to invest or not to invest in Russia. So you will have everything that you need regarding Russia, the country risk of Russia. So that is why stay tuned with us. And now let's go to the first section, which is the history of the Russian Federation.
Hi everyone, my name is Fitra Ariesta and I'll be presenting the introduction to Russia. A slight history of Russia. Before the Russian Revolution in 1917, Russia was led by the Romanovs dynasty since 1613. They reigned for 3 centuries, that is until the Bolsheviks massacred the whole Romanov family and they marked the end of the Russian imperial rule. Fast forward until today, the current leader of Russia is President Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin has 2 terms of presidencies. His first term started in 1999 until 2008, and then his second term started in 2012 until now. Well, Russia is geographically located in Northern Asia and Eastern Europe. What is the current population? How much is, to be exact, the current population of Russia? Well, according to World Bank data in 2017, the population of Russia is approximately around 144.5 million of people. That's quite a lot. Well, as for their economy, their main commodities, actually they're one of the leading producers of oil and natural gas. And their industries revolves around space and aircrafts, mining and extraction, and also defense industries. Defense industries such as weapon production, missiles, and radars. And for their society, they consist of Russians, Tatars, and many other tribes. And one of their religions is, the majority is Orthodox Christian.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, back again with me, Karl Gading Sayudha, and now I'll present to you the Russian political condition. So technically, Russian political condition right now is very much stable. From the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991 to today, under the leadership of Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin as the president, the condition is very much stable. However, there are 5 main things that you need to keep in mind. The first one, in 2014, the Russian government annexed Crimea from the Republic of Ukraine. This action created a big tensions in Europe, which led to the high political tension between those countries. And in 2015, the Russian government intervened in the Syrian civil war by helping Assad's regime. The Russian government helped by bombing the enemies of Assad in Syria. And in the 15th January 2020, ladies and gentlemen, the Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev resigned from the office. Means that the Russian government technically resigned from its position. So the only leader in Russia in that time was Putin. However, now Duma has chosen another Russian Prime Minister. However, the strong power still be held by Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. And then the fourth one was of course the political rivalry between pro-Putin and anti-Putin bloc. So yeah, the Russian government still have a hard time to compromise with everyone in Russia because some people does not agree with Putin. And last but not least, in March, the Russian government are preparing for the amendment of their own constitution due to a selective problem within the government. So, however, because of the coronavirus, the Russian government postponed the amendment due to the incapability of the people to decide whether should the government amend or not to amend the constitution. And now we're gonna focus on one specific thing, which is the political rivalry or the political crackdown due by the Russian government. So there are four main things in here. The four main things are the Russian government or the Kremlin has jailed a lot of journalists who speaks against the government. This is a problematic situation in Russia. If you speak against the government, then you are considered as the enemy of the government. And then the Russian government control and maintain the mass media. Everything they control. So if someone says something bad regarding Russian government or regarding Vladimir Putin, you will be considered as the enemy of the state, and thus you will be in jail. And then the third one, every political candidates that who confronts Putin's policy or speaks against Putin's policy or become the opposition of Vladimir Putin, you will be considered, of course, as a potential enemy of a state, and then you can be jailed. For example, like Alexei Navalny, he got jailed. He got jailed by the Russian government due to his speaks against the Russian policy by Putin. And last but not least, if you demonstrate in Russia, you will be considered as an illegal act and you will be jailed because of it. However, if you demonstrate for the Russian government supporting Putin, it's all fine. But against Putin, you will have a lot of troubles.
Greeting to our investor, my name is Thao, and now I want to introduce you to the Russian economy. The general information of Russian economy is that Russian economy is the 7th largest in the world. Russian economy freedom score is around 58.9, making its economy the 98th freest in the 2019 index. Russia is rich with oil, and its economy is heavily dependent on the resources. By the end of last year, Russian oil production was at an all-high time at around 11.16 million barrels per day, according to Reuters. And in 2017, gas made up 59% of Russia's export and 25% of its total revenue, according to the World Bank. Most of experts agree that Russia's economy is controlled by a small circle of powerful oligarchs, where these wealthy insiders own or manage most of the important Russian business. So what are the obstacles that we might need? First is the lack of labor force. The decline in labor force and in the number of employed people is due to population aging. Second is that 10,000 of workers, especially high qualified ones, keep leaving the country every year. Today, 1.5 million Russians live abroad while retaining their Russian passport. The inability to develop efficient mechanism to retain the labor force curtail the mid and long-term potential of the economic growth. The second issue is that the lack of economic incentive. Russia is still relying mainly on the principle where taxes are collected locally but then distributed at federal level. The taxes that remain at the regional level can hardly provide sufficient financial cushion to the financial growth. At the same time, VAT constitute 37% of all budget revenues in 2018, making it the main source of revenue in the federal budget, more important than the revenue from taxes on resource extraction, on profits, or excise duties. VAT, as the tax on development, is generated at the regional level but is fully transferred to the federal level. VAT is supposed to be a motivational tax for regional authorities to attract more investment, but the regions are reluctant to do so because the tax keeps leaving their region. Last but not least is the inflation policy. The Central Bank of Russia, often considered by international economists one of the world's most successful regulators, is conducting high interest rate policy, which creates an obstacle to stimulating new investment, spending, and private consumption. So that's all from the economy.
My name is Namira, and I'm going to explain about the socio-cultural analysis of Russian Federation. The first one is about demographic of Russia. So the current population of Russia is equivalent to 1.87% of total world population. However, right now Russia is facing some demographic crisis because the country's population is decreasing by around 700 people a day due to the alcoholism and lack of health enforcement, resulting the annual number of deaths has exceeded the number of births. As for the diversity, Russian Federation got so many ethnic groups, with Russian ethnicity dominating the population by having 80.9% share of Russian population. In terms of religion, majority of Russian citizens consider themselves as Russian Orthodox Christian. Apart from Orthodox, Russia also has several significant minorities such as Islam, Jewish, and other traditional beliefs. Due to the diversity, Russia got some socio-cultural instability. The first one is that casual and habitual racism is rooted and addressed to those who doesn't fit white Russian stereotype, especially for some ethnicity like Tatarstan, Chechnya, and Pakistan, and for the labor migrant which mostly come from Africa, Central Asia, and Middle East. They usually got several inequality treatment by Russians, such as police profiling and xenophobic attack. The second is social inequality that rooted in Russia. Russia has more than 70 billionaires, however, many people in the country still lives in poverty. As in December 2019, Russian no household income per capita reached $6,522.555. For the job preference, most Russian people are really interested in work in scope of technology and industrial manufacture. However, entrepreneur is also become favorite job option because entrepreneurship is highly rooted in Russian culture. For Russian culture and lifestyle, the first one, Russian people consider themselves as a very educated and cultured person. They value literacy and arts over everything. The second, they have no deep respect for the law, especially traffic law. The third, majority of Russians don't have a good manner. They tend to be close and rarely spend time for chit-chat. The fourth, Russians will show off their wealth through unimportant purchases such as expensive car and luxury clothes. The last, many Russian consumers are more attracted to foreign brands, especially for British brand and affordable Chinese product.
My name is Pricilia, and now I will explain about the technology innovation in Russia. The first one, I will explain about why technology innovation matters. The reason why technology innovation matters is because in this very developed world, we need to compete with other countries in terms of anything, so it needs the government help to change. From the technology innovation, it can make people have more choice than before, and then they can access whatever they want in everywhere. The second, I will explain about the digitalization in Russia. In Russia, there are several periods of digitalization that aims to improve competitiveness in global market. The first digitalization is digital transformation in business. In this digitalization, the government focus in improve the customer or client experience and also improve the internal productivity and efficiency. Other than that, this digitalization aims to develop a new business. The second digitalization is digital transformation in government. This digitalization has aims to ensuring Russia long-term competitiveness, especially in public administration, because it will be the basic of technology and standard for the future development culture. The third digitalization is digital transformation in labor market. This digitalization has aimed to contribute in increasing the emergence of new profession and job. So, what is the impact of digitalization? In Russia, the digitalization make the business go far reaching the digital transformation where it can make their success to create a new technology that are relevant and affordable for the businessman, both for the client and also for the customer. For the last, I will tell about the most focused technology that developed in Russia. Nowadays, Russia is working to increase the number of intelligence satellites with the higher level of security, so all the privacy from every sector that developed in Russia not extend to the other countries, especially in business and military sector.
Hi, my name is Kintan Nur Hapsari. This is my part L, legal aspect supporting all factors in Russia. A. Legal aspect of investing in Russia. Types of legal entities is Russian business may have one of several types of a legal status. A business may operate as a limited liability company or as a public or private joint stock company and may be run by a sole proprietor. Other types of the commercial and non-commercial organization are also recognized. So, first is Russia Limited Liability Company or LLC. LLC is set up by one or several person, legal entities, and or individuals. Its charter capital is divided into participatory shares. And LLC participants are not liable for company obligation and bear the risk of losses to the extent of the contribution made by them. The number of shareholders may not exceed 50. A Russia limited liability company or LLC qualifies for many benefits including first is limited liability, second is only one member required, third is easy withdrawal, fourth is privacy, and fifth is share are optional. This LLC qualifies for many benefits like limited liability for its member, it's only one member required for an LLC, its swing share is optional, privacy is afforded with nominee shareholders, and member can easily withdraw if the company charter allows it. Now we're gonna jump into Russian Private Limited Company or PLC. In a private DSC, shares are distributed only among its founder or another predetermined group of persons. A closed company has the right to conduct a closed subscription to its share, while the shareholders of closed company have a preemptive right to purchase shares sold by other company shareholders. The number of company shareholders shouldn't exceed 15. And what is private GSC that I mentioned before? It is a Russian joint stock corporation, are primarily formed to do business in Russia. And last is benefit. A Russian private limited company or PLC qualify for many benefits, which includes first is similar to LLC. Members of Russian PLC are not individually liable for the company's losses. They are only liable for the amount of participation value set forth in company charter when it was formed.
So, I will explain about environmental problem in Russia. Russia is the largest country in the world located in Eastern Europe with a vast expanse of territory that stretches across Northern Asia. There are various kinds of environmental problems that occur in Russia, such as water pollution, air pollution, deforestation, hazardous waste disposal, and nuclear waste contamination. But one of the most significant problems that occur in Russia is air pollution. Air pollution is a very significant problem in several major Russian cities, and this has happened in Moscow and St. Petersburg, where industrial facilities are less considered for environmental compliance. Russians, especially those who live in Moscow and St. Petersburg, realize that emissions from fossil fuel vehicles are the main source of dangerous airs. Other than that, single-source pollution is also another cause of air pollution. So, how the government responds to the issues? First, the government conducts a discussion about the dangers posed by environmental problem. And the second, make a substantial green movement. The green movement is a diverse movement that forward the concern of environmentalists, that is person who see the integrity of non-human world as worthy of preservation, both for its own sake and for the sake of human survival. And the last is establish a state committee for the protection of nature, which is an agency given broad responsibilities similar to those of the United States Environmental Protection Agency. In the 1992, the Russian Federation used Goskom Piroda as the model for a new Ministry of Environmental Protection and Natural Resources.
Ladies and gentlemen, now come to the conclusion. Our team has explained to you all about the country risk that Russia possesses right now. From partial analysis in politics, economy, social, technology, legal, and of course the last one, environment. From all of this aspect, we can see that Russia has fulfilled all of them. Of course, for some reason, Russia is not a perfect country because, ladies and gentlemen, no country is perfect. Russia has their own problem, but this problem within this partial analysis, won't hurt Russia so much. So that is why the conclusion from our consulting group, Russia is and will always a great place to be invest. Why is that? Because as a political, of course, Russia is more stable, but indeed, you as an investor need to support the existing government there in order to have a smooth collections and a smooth investment without any trouble from the government, of course. But as long as the politics there is stable, everything will be fine. And then economically, Russia is rising economy. Although for some reason sometimes it's stagnant, but then it's one of the highest economy in the world. So that's why it's perfect to take part in this stagnant economy, because when it's booming, you will have a lot of profit. And for the social, well, of course, Russia is very diverse. This is the place that all of us can invest with. Diverse people mean a lot of things, a lot of opportunities. And then we have the technology. Russian technology is in a big booming, ladies and gentlemen. That is why it's time for us to invest in Russia, especially in technology. And then we have the legal. Of course, every year, the Russian Federation and the Russian army, the Russian government will try their best to create a better legality within their country. Of course, maybe some legal will not be in suitable standard for your company or for your investment, but that's okay. Russia will do their best in order to receive a lot of investment to their country. And last but not least, the environment. Russia is big, Russia is vast, thus displays a lot of things that can help you invest with. They have problem in environment. Of course, every country has problem when it comes to environment, but then they try their best by implementing some of their regulations to help overcome this problem. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, our consulting group has concluded that Russia is one of the best places that you can invest right now. So that is all from us. Thank you very much for your time, and we will see you again in the next time. And spasiba большое. До свидания.